based on the stage of life, age of life, or the lifestyle diseases. Okay, therefore, some of the challenges I tried before, but you know how many of us are actually compliant? They are really focused on helping clients being consistent with respect to habit change. And they're able to help clients overcome their personal barriers. Do you remember the iceberg theory? Okay, do you remember? It's very important to understand the individual at a surface level, at a subconscious level. Understand what strengths, capabilities do they have? What are the obstacles that are coming in the way of achieving success? Okay, therefore, health and wellness coaches are also, you know, instrumental in helping clients cultivate healthier habits, and they are focused on long-term sustainable change. Listen to one of our students, Divya, who's worked with many multinational corporations, and he's a health and wellness coach and is a leader in the space. Listen in. Okay, sorry. Here you go.
What has been your learning outcomes from health and wellness coaching that you have done?
Okay,
Yeah.
a lot of them. So when I registered myself for this certification, I was awestruck with the, how beautifully the curriculum was designed. And, I was already a, practicing nutritionist. I had over 8 years of experience, very much established in the industry, and I was working with two big brands, multinational companies. But regardless of that, this particular certification propelled me to expand my horizon and prepare for a global client base. This gave me tools and techniques which I felt which was missing when I was just working as a nutrition consultant. Whereas when I became a health coach, I did get a very new perspective to health implementation plans and how to motivate the client to stick around to their regime and achieve their goals on their own. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, especially from the client perspective, that they feel their own boss. They are the one driving it. So that is what I loved about this certification.
Okay, there you heard it from a nutritionist. Now let's look at life coaching. Okay, so when we look at the industry, when coaching came into surface, right, it started pretty much from life coaching. And life coaches use behavioral science and motivational interviewing techniques and motivational psychology to help clients create their personal goals. Not only create them, but also achieve personal goals and have a sense of personal self, have a sense of life direction. Okay, therefore they're really focused on self-care, personal improvement, personal development. That is the area that they were working on. Now what happened was some leaders in the industry started saying, can we apply some of these principles of coaching on health, okay, and wellness? When they started applying that, they started seeing great efficacy, they started seeing great results. That's how health and wellness coaching came into being. And then the leaders of the industry formed NBSWC, the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaching USA, and created the standards for this profession. Okay, life coaching, generalized coaching on life direction, personal goals. But health coaching, health and wellness coaching, health coaches also coach on life, but they also coach on health. They help people have an improved quality of life, improve their health outcomes, their lifestyle behaviors. Okay, therefore, health coaching is evidence-based, backed by science, and also supports clinical frameworks because health coaches work alongside the medical team. Okay, I truly believe currently we're looking at health and wellness coaches as the medical navigators of the future. Okay, now let's look at the difference between health and wellness coaching and doctors. Now we know the doctors have a great understanding of the body, right? They understand how to treat, how to diagnose, how to prescribe medicines. Usually, like I said yesterday, the doctor's consultation is between 5 to 7 minutes as per most research, where most of the conversation is led by the doctor and not by the client. Okay, it is coming from the space of medical expertise. Okay, and it's very, very clinical in nature. Whereas health and wellness coaching is great. It's a great partnership with health and wellness coaching and doctors, or doctors, nutrition, fitness trainers, and life coaches upskilling themselves in the health and wellness coaching space, because it helps them to get acquired skills wherein they can work on prevention, they can work on proactive wellness, they can help clients to actually formulate habits and create lifestyle modification. Okay, typically health and wellness coaching session would be 45 to 60 minutes. Okay, because health and wellness coaching, in a session, the health and wellness coach will dive deeper into the client's session. Okay, again, the doctor's looking at the physical body. Okay, and a lot of doctors would be super specialist. Guys, can you turn out my audio from the back? From there? Yeah, from the other system. Okay, thank you. So holistic in nature, right? The doctors are looking at the physical body, and in the medical fraternity, when you look at doctors, there are usually a general physician, then there is, cardiologist, oncologist, gynecologist. Usually you see specialist. Okay, they are specialists. So we call health and wellness coaches generalist. Okay, because they have behavior, all lifestyle habits. Okay, and therefore while health and wellness coaching can work within clinical framework and can work with healthcare practitioners, or healthcare practitioners can upskill themselves, it is non-clinical in nature. Okay, now let's look at health and wellness coaches and wellness influencers and gurus. When you look at wellness influencers, okay, when you look at wellness influencers, most of the information they share on social media is largely coming from their own personal narrative. It is highly based on their own life, and is highly based on their own opinions, and therefore the motivation is pretty much generalized. Okay, so therefore it is inspirational only, and often that inspiration is short-lived and definitely is highly unregulated. Okay, whereas health and wellness coaching is backed by science, backed by research, backed by evidence. And I did mention you that Aditya Birla did the first health coaching research paper in India. You can check it out in Google, where they coached more than 24,000 patients and have seen improvement in health biomarkers. Not only that, reduction in healthcare cost and health insurance. The next research paper likely is going to be 50,000 patients which are extremely sick, and these health coaches have been trained by Velji. Now, again, wellness influencers, generalized motivation. Health coaching is personalized guidance. Okay, very, very, very personalized. Remember, we talked about getting to know the client with who they are, where they are, where is it they want to go. There could be 100 patients managing, trying to battle diabetes, but the root cause of the problem for all of them is going to be different. Who they are as an individual is going to be different. Their strengths and capabilities are going to be different. Therefore, through health coaching, we're able to create highly structured and highly personalized programs. And it is definitely, we've talked about program approvals yesterday and industry standard. It is a regulated skill set. So it's no longer in industry can anybody call themselves health and wellness coach without being certified through regulatory bodies. Okay, now listen in to another student who's a homemaker. Homemakers are natural nurturers. Okay, they're natural nurturers. They love to take care of their families. They're always thinking about their health and well-being. They're reading up. They're always the ones who are making sure all the people in the family get their doctor's appointment, or they're taking the medication or the supplementation. And mothers make brilliant health coaches. So just listen in to this one of our homemaker students. Bharti.
I am Bharti Chanwani. I want to share a few of my experience regarding this Velji Wellness program. Firstly, I have learned that health is not about eating healthy food or exercising only. It includes many more things, such as are we having good relationships? Are we able to cope up our stress level? How can we manage our emotions? Because those things are interrelated. One thing affects the overall health. And secondly, I have learned the power of deep listening and the power of silence. These two amazing things can create wonders in anyone's life, which I have also observed in my clients. They got wonderful results. And one more thing which I have learned during this coaching session, that now I am able to coach myself in difficult situations and come up with amazing solutions. And last but not the least, this coaching sessions gave me a very fulfilling and satisfactory career, so I can help many people to overcome their fears and achieve their desirable goals, and I can also gain their blessings. So thank you so much, Velji, for this amazing course.
Okay, so I think a lot of people here on the chat was like, can I do this course just for myself? Yes, absolutely. You can do it for your own personal growth, personal development, and you can use the course and the content to help your family members and create social impact. Everybody here comes out with a different mission. Okay, you can all acquire the skills for the mission that you want to work on. Okay, so overall, let's look at coaching and other professions. Doctors treat but don't have time for lifestyle change. So patients are 33%, they have better outcome with health coaching. Okay, health coaching, either partner with doctors or doctors have added this additional skills. Now nutritionists, they are able to create diet plan but sometimes struggle with long-term adherence, and also sometimes nutritionists are not able to look at other aspects of somebody's life which may be influencing their nutritional habits. For example, lack of financial resources. When we do not have the lack of financial resources, we don't have the money to buy organic produce, or we're not able to invest in the right supplementation and so on and so forth. So health coaches are able to help clients to be help clients to be consistent, they're also looking at their relationship with food. Okay, fitness trainers, as you know, work out, but it's limited to physical dimension. Okay, health coaches are actually working on mental, emotional, and lifestyle consistency. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the difference between a therapist. Okay, the therapists really heal trauma and not lifestyle behaviors. You can let her in. Yeah, you can let her in. My pet is at my door. I wish I could show you her. Maybe I will. Okay, so therapists heal trauma and not lifestyle behaviors. Now, there's a big role of therapist. Okay, and I'll tell you a story from my coaching case studies. So there was a lady, she had come for a coaching session, and she had said, Preeti, I have recently been raped. Okay, and I have been raped by people that I know, okay, from my known circle. And she was this tall, beautiful woman with curly hair, dusky complexion, and she came to me feeling extremely vulnerable. And my first response to her, I said, this is not within the scope of my practice. This is the role of a therapist, okay? But she said, that's not why I am here with you for. I am going to continue working with my therapist, but I want to work with you to create a better vision for myself, a better health and wellness vision for myself. So over months of coaching, and she was a part of a band. She was the lead singer. She had stopped singing. This was something that she absolutely loved. Okay. Within the next 2 months, she was able to create a vision for herself. She was able to have confidence in herself. She was broken, right? So she was able to uplift herself, and she was back there in the band singing, and she sends me a video. Okay, and she worked on me on those areas. So there is a place for every profession. Every profession, there is a place, and every profession can work in tandem with each other as long as everybody understands the scope of their practice. Okay, now health coaches, again, as I said, work on personal growth and not health transformation. So we've had people from PwC, Boston Consulting, a lot of the consulting groups and multinational corporations who've sent their life coaches to and they have upskilled in the health and wellness space, because they said, we want these life coaches to work with our executive and C-suite employees in improving their quality of health and health parameters. Okay, so overall, health coaches are focused on behavior change, and they do this while keeping the focus on holistic well-being. Okay, brilliant. Okay, do you guys want to know more? Do you want to learn more? Do you want to learn more? If you want to learn more, type M. Can you quickly type M? Let me get the pulse of the audience. Do you want to learn more? Are you getting excited about all the information that's coming your way? You want to learn more, right? It's getting exciting today. I know exactly how I was when I was trying to get into this profession. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay. Now, we talked about it. Thank you. Everybody said M. Wonderful. Okay. So, we talked about the vicious disease cycle people are stuck in. First, you have the signs, then you have the symptoms, then you go to the doctor does test, then you are given this medication, you get on the medication, your immunity gets worsened, your lifestyle doesn't get improved, you get temporary relief, you're back in the vicious cycle of disease. And what we are trying to do in health and wellness coaching is exactly not that, right? We are trying to break this vicious cycle, okay? But here's what nobody's looking at. Nobody's really looking at the root cause. Nobody's really looking at behavioral patterns. Nobody's looking at the complete lifestyle history of the clients. Nobody's really looking at stress. Remember, yesterday we did the poll and you said more than 50 to 60%, almost about 40 to 50%, if I remember the numbers correctly, you said a lot of times people struggle to make lifestyle changes because they are stressed. Remember, we talked about 1 in 3 adults are stressed today. Okay, and the stress is not a clinical, or if there's depression, it's not a clinical depression, it's non-clinical depression. It's our inability to cope with life circumstances. Can you believe that? Okay, our coping mechanisms are back. That is why I feel a lot of people struggle with life in general today. Not to mention, nobody's really looking at sleep. Sleep has become one of the biggest chronic issues in the world today, right? And what about emotional triggers? What about emotional triggers? And this is why diseases keep returning. But health coaches are the one. And health and wellness coaching is what breaks the cycle. Okay. I want to ask you quickly, open up the chat box, Team Belgi. I want to ask, and when you guys, when you chat, just choose everyone so everybody can see your chats. Okay. Let me ask you this. Where do you think habits originate from? All right. Yesterday we talked about why do people struggle with habits. So where do you think habits originate from? Quickly, guys, put in the chat box. I don't see. Guys, come on. Where do you think habits originate from? Thoughts, child, mind. Okay. What else? More answers. Thoughts, mind, childhood. Okay. Emotions, trauma, beliefs, mindset, thought, repetition. Okay. What else? Childhood and atmosphere. Okay. Environment, patterns, experience, mindset. Okay, great. You're almost there. Family patterns, attitude. So if you think your habits or everybody's habits govern from all of these things, then just telling people to make changes by giving them advice is going to work. It doesn't work. So let me tell you this. The origin of habits is in your brain. Okay, the brain is made of billions and billions of neurons that are constantly communicating with each other. And as these neurons communicate with each other, they create synapses. And therefore, they create neural pathways. Now, when you repeat a habit over and over and over and over again, over 10,000 times, it becomes a habit. Okay, 10,000 times for the brain to wire itself and create this rigid neural pathway. And that is why we say that children who are younger, we must inculcate good habits in them, because the brain is almost fully developed by the age of 5. But the beauty of the brain is that the brain is not rigid. Okay, it is flexible. It is possible to break previous neural pathways and to create new pathways. Okay, and that's what we're going to learn about today. Okay, so good. So people are talking about neuroplasticity. Okay. Can you turn this poll off? There's a poll showing right now. Okay. Okay, great. Let's move along. Okay. So what do health coaches do? You may ask. This brings me now to the next poll, Team Belgi. You were excited. Okay. You were excited. So I understand that. So let's get the next poll up and running on the screen. So now is the time that you understand the difference between health and wellness coaches and other professions. You understand, the importance and the relevance of that, how they break the vicious cycle of disease. Okay. Now it is time for us to discover what do health coaches do. But before that, let's get into the next poll. So which part of health transformation do you feel people need most help with? Is it consistency? Is it accountability? Is it stress management? Is it emotional triggers? Is it habit building? What part of health transformation do you feel people need most help with? Consistency, accountability, stress management, emotional triggers, and habit building. Okay, guys, only 35% of the participation. I want more participation. Can we ramp up the numbers? Can we have more people? Come on, guys, come on. You can do better. You can do better. The more numbers I see there, the more excited I get, the more energy I get, because I really cannot see you. I can only feel the energy from the chat. Okay, great. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the poll and share the results. So you said 45% of you think the health transformation you feel people need most help is consistency. We all want to make change. You know that. We all get up every day that today I will exercise. Today I will eat better. Today I will sleep on time. Today I will, not watch technology or not look at Netflix or browse through Instagram at night. Okay. So 45%. 22% of you want to understand how to build good habits. Okay. Followed by 15% want to understand how to manage stress, and then 10% about emotional triggers, and 8% about accountability. Very well done. So we're going to cover all of that today. Team Velji, you can close the poll. Let's move along. Okay. Let's move along. So here are 4 things that health coaches do that no other profession does. A, remember, somebody said neuroplasticity, the science of behavior change. Okay, so therefore they are the behavior change expert. What do health coaches do? They help in mindset transformation. Thirdly, what do? They help motivate people by tapping into their intrinsic motivation. Guys, there is something called extrinsic motivation and there is something called intrinsic motivation. When we talk about extrinsic motivation, it means motivation that is outside of us. And motivation that is outside of us is not sustainable over a period of time. For example, if I see a beautiful model on a magazine and she has an amazing body, right? And I look at her and I say, oh my God, that's what I want to look like, right? That is extrinsic motivation. Okay. And I'll give you an example of an intrinsic motivation from a case study. Okay. So a lady had come in for a coaching session. She was in her early 60s. Okay. So she had come in and she said, I want to lose weight, Preeti. Okay. So the idea was, again, she has said, I have tried XYZ, it hasn't worked. I want you to help me. So we started the coaching session, and as we moved along, and in the part of the coaching dialogue, you'll understand this a little bit more as we move along, when powerful questions were asked, right? She had revelations, and through those revelations, she was able to discover her intrinsic motivation. So what was her intrinsic motivation to lose weight? Her intrinsic motivation was, hey, listen, I've done my life in terms of I fulfill all my responsibilities. Now I want to travel the world. But because of my excess weight, I have knee pain. Number 2, in fact, that was number 1 was gardening. She said, I love gardening. I love spending hours in my garden. I love, sowing seeds, and I love seeing them blossom into flowers and plants. It gives me a lot of joy. But again, because of my knee problem, I'm not able to garden for a very long time, because, if you have to garden, you have to do gardening, you have to have endurance. You should be able to squat. You should be able to get up, you need a lot of muscular strength in your legs as well, and good endurance to do that, right? Thirdly, she said, I want to be in a place where I can enjoy my grandchildren and I can also play with them. So that was her intrinsic motivation. So every time she went off the path, right, of whatever goal that she had set, whether it was eating healthy or exercising or whatever goals that she has set, the idea for the coach would be to help her bring her focus back on intrinsic motivation, because intrinsic motivation is a driver for change. And this kind of motivation is what helps clients to be accountable. And who needs to be accountable? When in conventional practice, in a session with a nutritionist or a fitness trainer, usually the accountability is always with the practitioner, right? I did not lose weight or I did not get fit because the fitness trainer didn't do a good job, right? Or I was not able to lose weight, or I was not able to reverse certain lifestyle disease because the nutrition didn't do the right. While the nutritionist is doing everything in a capacity, the fitness trainer is doing everything in the capacity. But unfortunately, in the conventional route, who's accountable? The doctor, the nutritionist, the fitness trainer. But real change only happens when who takes accountability? The client. And coaching is all about how do we help the client to take accountability. Because change can only happen when you take accountability. For example, you can't ask a smoker to quit smoking unless they want to quit smoking. You can put horrific images on the cigarette box. You can send them to a movie hall, and there will be these advertorials talking about, lung cancer and graphic images of that, right? But yet they continue smoking because जिंदगी छोटी है, 70-80 तक जी लेंगे भी तो बहुत है, but पी के जिएंगे, right? You've heard that. So people, it's very important in health coaching, is very important to help the client to take accountability, okay? Because when the client takes accountability, change happens. Okay? And health coaches are also trained on how to help clients to maintain change and how to manage relapse. So therefore, this career is absolutely unique, and therefore it is not an overlap of nutrition or fitness where what in terms of what the industry is portraying out there on social media. Far from it. Okay, listen into Dr. Meg Jordan, who's also my beloved mentor and a leader in the health and wellness space.
What do health coaches do? Well, they form a partnership with their clients, and in that partnership they help the client tap into the innermost desires and actually perform a self-directed action plan that creates sustainable, lasting change. We often don't know how to achieve what we want to achieve, even though we have those desires and goals in mind. You seek a coach because you have been struggling with some issue in the past, and the coach helps you actually achieve that result with sustainable actions. Now, with coaching that is specific to health coaching, we have a mounting body of evidence right now that shows that people are working with health coaches to turn around behavior with diabetes, cardiovascular disease, reducing stress, achieving fitness goals, changing their diet, weight loss. There are so many issues with behavior change when it comes to health that requires the action of a health coach. In the United States and the UK, Australia, South America, and now in India, we are having health coaches work personally with healthcare providers and their patients to achieve this lasting, sustainable change. When 7 out of 10 hospitalizations are all related to the fact that people make poor lifestyle choices, well, we really know that health coaches are the most important new player in the medical landscape.
Okay, there you heard Dr. Meg Jordan. Okay, so let's quickly look at the inside view of what a coaching session actually looks like. So here's what a real coaching session actually looks like. So when you look at a real coaching session, it's almost like the client and the coach is inside a bubble. Okay, imagine this in your head if you can. The client and the coach is inside the bubble. It's a sacred space, okay, where the client is feeling heard, the client is feeling not judged, the client is feeling, that they can actually be vulnerable. Okay, it's a safe bubble. But inside that bubble, there is another bubble. That bubble is around you, because you've got to, as a coach, you've got to protect your energy. You've got to protect your energy because clients are going to come in and are going to share a lot of things which is which could also affect your well-being. I remember when I started coaching, there was a lady who was a big emotional eater, and it was really creating havoc in her life. And I was coaching her and I did not protect myself. And I realized within the first week that I was emotional eating. Luckily, I was able to catch up, okay, with what was happening with her was also happening with me. okay? Because I did not create personal boundaries. So it's very important while you create a safe space for your client, within that bubble, you are also creating another bubble for yourself. Now, when this kind of an intent is created, which is pure, where there is no judgment, where there is empathy, where there is compassion, right? You're creating a space where the client can really explore their values, their beliefs, their motivations. Okay, they can really create a clarified health and wellness vision for themselves. They're able to identify their strengths, they're able to understand what's coming in the way of them actually achieving results. And therefore, through the coach's collaboration, the coach and the client in collaboration are able to create actionable steps to achieve the goals. And through the coaching process, the coach is enabling the client to take accountability, and from one session to another session, there is progression. Okay, and from one session to another, there is review, there is tracking, and there is reflection. There is profound reflection of where they are right now and why are they where they are, how do they need to move forward. And as they are creating these changes in their life, the coaches are also helping them to stay with the progress. The biggest challenge in the world today is when people make changes, it is short term. Okay, sustainability is one of the biggest problem. Now, when in a real coaching session, what do clients really feel? They feel heard, they feel supported, they feel empowered, they feel motivated, they feel not lectured. Okay, that's the power of health and wellness coaching. Okay, so therefore, when the client comes into a session, prior to the session, this is how they're feeling. They're feeling completely overwhelmed, they're feeling stressed, they're feeling like, I'll do this all the way or nothing, right? Or there is confusion, there is low energy, there is a lot of guilt, and there is a lot of shame, saying that, I've tried to make changes before and I am not able to make the changes. Okay, and there is definitely lifestyle chaos. There's definitely lifestyle chaos. It's almost like this woman with all of these chits on her face, right? That overwhelmed. But after a coaching session, the clients feel great clarity. They feel there's great nervous system emotional regulation. Okay, they walk away with better routines, they walk away with consistency, they walk away with a radiant inner confidence of their own capability of making change, which is called self-efficacy, and they walk away with mind body balance and lifestyle mastery. One of the biggest challenges coaches have when they initially start, there are two biggest challenges: to ask for money, but the second biggest other challenge is, and asking about money, we're going to work a lot on that tomorrow. But the second biggest challenge that most coaches struggle is to end the coaching session on time. The reason why that is because when the clients are in the coaching session, they love it so much. The feel good factor of being in a coaching session is so high that they don't want the coaching session to end. So it is always the coach's responsibility to bring the coaching session into focus, not enable the client to not spiral out, and take the coaching session to conclusion with a goal and an action plan. Okay, so here's what science speaks about health and wellness coaching. When you look at Harvard 2023, it says through health coaching, they have seen a growing body of evidence that there is stress reduction by more than 40%, 25% reduction in burnout, higher well-being and resilience. And what does Mayo Clinic say? It says through health coaching, people have experienced improved sleep, emotional health, and overall improvement in their biomarkers without changing medication. So it's almost like the health and wellness coaching is like the placebo. Okay, remember what the placebo is, right? It's like the sugar pill. You tell somebody you have a headache, go and give them a sugar pill and tell them it's medicine for headache. They probably will consume it, and after 10-15 minutes say, oh, the headache is gone. Okay, the health coaching is almost has the similar placebo effect with respect to helping people change lifestyle biomarkers. Okay, science. Here's Stanford research. Coaching is most effective in diabetes, heart disease, stress, obesity, burnout, and lifestyle condition. Listen into Dr. Linda Bach again, who is again one of the, I mean, she had come to India. When she came to India, she was already in her mid 70s. She was actually instrumental. Dr. Meg Jordan and Linda Bach were instrumental when standards were created in India. They woke up in the middle of the night to help me when these standards were created. And she still stands tall like a mountain, right? Like a tree with her feet firmly rooted. And she's amazing. She's a big thought leader in the space. Listen into her.
Well, there's over 300 studies now that really show that health and wellness coaching really works.
Right.
And so it works for diabetes, it works for cardiac problems, it works for cancer, it works in ADHD, it works for asthma.
Right.
Lots of conditions. It's really showing that having a health coach really can help people, sometimes even reverse disease, which is very exciting.
Which is very, very powerful. We will be talking about can we really reverse lifestyle diseases, because these are all diseases that are stemming out of poor lifestyle habits that we make. And we can actually, if we reverse our habits and make that into a lifestyle, we can definitely reverse these diseases. It's not as simple as we say it. And that's where the health and wellness coach comes into the place, and that's what makes it really, really powerful.
Okay, so on the chat box, some people have said some they do not do anything, but still they die before those who drink daily. Why? Okay. Okay, the human body or the human being is far more complex, complicated, unique, and beautiful. Every person is different. Everybody, what's happening in somebody's life, you have no idea. So while somebody, you might say, oh, you know, somebody's exercising every day, they don't drink or they don't smoke, but that person died before somebody else, right? So because we don't know what's happening in their spiritual space, we don't know what's happening in their social well-being space, we don't know what's happening in their emotional well-being space. There might be other areas in their life which may be out of balance, and that's what's driving them towards distress and disease and premature death sometimes. Okay. Okay, so somebody says it's a teamwork and health and wellness coaches alone do kindly share insights. Yes, with respect to lifestyle habits, yes, health coaches can actually work independently on helping clients to eat better, to sleep on time, to exercise, to manage stress, anxiety, and non-clinical depression. Okay, so health coaches can do that independently. They are equipped with the skills that are required for them to do that. Okay. I am a health and wellness coach. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't come from the healthcare background. And I have worked with thousands and thousands of clients. Okay. So here's the WellG methodology. Okay. The WellG method, our proprietary model, our intellectual property is holistic and integrated. It is founded on latest research and science. It's not only founded on the science of health coaching, but the art of health coaching. Okay, health coaching is not something that can be learned by reading a book. It has to be practiced. That is why we call it the art of health coaching. And in the methodology, it's as per the WellG methodology, the neuroscience is extremely important, as we figured out all our habits originate from our brain. And therefore, the WellG methodology also not only helps you to understand the fundamentals of health coaching,